Yo, what's up, everybody? Hey, I want to do this video. Hey, this is my son, Evan. Say hello. Say hello to everybody, man. Anyway, doing this video on LeBron James. What can LeBron James do to actually pass Michael Jordan? What will it take for him to actually pass Michael Jordan? Well, for me, one thing that has to happen, that he has to win this. The Cleveland Cavaliers have to win this championship. He cannot afford one more loss in the finals. He's already lost 3 times. Some people might say, well, that's enough. There's no way, because Jordan was 6 out of 6. There's absolutely no way LeBron could catch up to Michael Jordan. I'm going to say, that makes a lot of sense. But I don't think it's necessarily true that it's impossible. Because you look at Magic Johnson, he won 5, he went to 9. I mean, that's pretty good, you know what I'm saying? So, but I think what people miss into why Michael Jordan is considered the greatest is not just he's 6 for 6 in the finals. I just went over his first 3 finals, and I'm going to say his last 3 finals, they were good, but they weren't the greatest, He still played great. He won those championships with the MVPs. Those seasons, his Bulls teams actually, had the 2 best records of all time. But his team was better. He had better teammates in those years. Even though in the playoffs, he had injuries to Scottie Pippen, and he didn't really play that well in the playoffs in the second three-peat. So Jordan had more of the load to carry offensively in the playoffs, but he didn't produce as well as he did in the first three-peat. Now, Jordan, his first three-peat, and this is the thing, we look at his number of titles and say, well, he won 6, he's the greatest ever, but after Jordan won his 3rd title, people were already saying he was the greatest ever. People like Magic Johnson, even though Magic, I saw him in person one time, he kind of said, well, I got 5, he only got 3 or 4, whatever he had at the time. So, but, on TV he was saying so, like, Mike's the greatest, And so what I mean is, I brought that up for this reason. Michael Jordan's first 3 championships, and his first three-peat, played on a level that nobody else has reached. In his last level, his last three-peat, to me, Shaquille O'Neal during that three-peat with the Lakers was better than Jordan was in his last three-peat. That's my opinion. I think that's honest. That's how dominant Shaq was. He was actually more dominant than Michael Jordan at that time. But Michael Jordan's first three-peat, that was the most dominant, most impressive, most ridiculous thing we've ever seen. Well, in my lifetime, I'm not thinking anybody's. Michael Jordan just taking the NBA Finals. In his first 3 championships, he averaged 36 points a game. Over that's 3. Shot 53% from the field. 54% from the field. It was 52. Somewhere between 52 and 54%. Averaged 6 rebounds a game and 8 assists a game. That's in the NBA Finals. And 2 of those NBA Finals, he played against the MVP. He played against the MVP of the NBA. He beat the MVP of the NBA in '91. That's Magic Johnson, was the MVP that season. He defeated him in 5 games. And the 3rd season of the three-peat, against Charles Barkley, who was the MVP, he defeated him in 6 games. And in that series, he averaged 41 points, 8 rebounds, and 6.3 assists, something ridiculous like that. I mean, when Michael Jordan finished playing that series, he retired. He didn't retire because he was serving a suspension because he gambled. I mean, that's silly. I watched that series again, and I saw how easy the game was to him. He had totally just there was no challenge to the game for him no more. So that's the thing. Michael Jordan, when he won his championships, he not only won, but he did it so impressively, so awe-inspiring, that it left really no room for anybody to say he wasn't the greatest. And then even the way he left winning the game-winning shot in the sixth title. So in this video, I'm trying to figure out what does LeBron James have to do to catch Jordan. Now I'm gonna tell you what he has to do first is in this series. He has to do like Michael Jordan and give us a series for the ages. Now, he played amazing against OKC. I think he averaged a triple-double or near triple-double. It was amazing, but it's been so many great performances in the NBA Finals. I don't think anyone puts that performance in like the top 10 or anything like that. Against San Antonio, he kind of had to work himself into that MVP. I mean, he had some trouble in that series, but he still put up big numbers, played great, won the MVP. But it wasn't an awe-inspiring thing that people are going to talk about for years to come. And so, for LeBron James to catch Mike and pass him, he has to go to the finals this year. Give us a performance that we will never forget in the NBA Finals. A complete domination. Do what he can do, which is he can affect the game so many ways. Give us another triple-double, but dominate. Give us 30, 10, 13, something like that. Something ridiculous along the lines of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan against Magic Johnson averaged 31 points a game on, I think it was like 54% shooting, something ridiculous. And he averaged 11.4 assists a game against Magic. I mean, come on. Against the best, the guy who was supposed to be the best player in the game, he came and showed that he was the best. And then, man, you got to see the highlights versus Portland. I mean, Michael Jordan against the next best shooting guard of his generation totally obliterated him. 35.8 points a game against Clyde Drexler and undressed him on the offense. Undressed him. You know, kind of like Isaiah was undressing the Portland backcourt in 90, but in 92, Jordan just totally obliterated Clyde Drexler. So, Michael Jordan, in 3 of his 6 championships, was either the MVP of the league or he played against the MVP of the league in the finals and he dominated them. So, LeBron James is playing this year against the MVP. He's playing against Stephen Curry. Now, if he goes this year and dominates Stephen Curry, dominates Golden State, and puts up a finals for the ages, and he comes back and does it 2 more times, he may be there with Mike. That's what he needs to do. He not only needs to win at least 5 championships, but he has to do it in dominant fashion. He has to be awe-inspiring in what he does. So that's what LeBron got to do. So starting with this series, he cannot afford to lose another series. But if he could go 5 out of 8 or 6 out of 9, and he can give us awe-inspiring series on the same level or maybe even greater than Michael Jordan, then he can be compared favorably to Mike. So that's what it's going to take. He has to win some more. For me, he doesn't have to win 6. But if he wins 5 and in these next 3, he puts up a level of play on the same level of Jordan did in his first 3-peat, then I say, man, he may be better than Jordan. So that's what it's going to take. All right. Peace.